quick question for you. Speaking of conspiracies, what do you think of Peter Thiel's comments about Bitcoin being equivalent to like financial terrorism because it may be backed by China? And then what do you
So
think of Bitcoin?
I know Peter well.
Okay.
I first met him back when we both had big hedge funds in '06. I've partnered with him on a lot of things. He likes to be provocative. That's his brand. He likes to say shit that everyone says, what? He's very smart. He owns a lot of Bitcoin. He owns positions in companies that participate in the ecosystem. And so he's a bull in the space. The stablecoin war will be a war. It's not going to be a Bitcoin war. It's a war between China's stablecoin, the US stablecoin. Europe's going to have one. I was on with the central bank governor of Brazil. They're going to have one. Every one of these countries is going to have stablecoin. It really only matters US, China, right? We're the reserve currency of the world right now. In order to be the reserve currency of the world, traditionally, you had to have the strongest navy, right? The Brits had, the pound used to be the reserve currency, and all of a sudden the dollar became. Most countries only keep the reserve currency status for about 100 years. We're about the end of our life in that zone. And so, but why is it important? Well, we have these gigantic deficits. So we want everyone to buy dollars, right? How are we going to fund these huge deficits? We fund them by people overseas buying the dollar, buying our bonds. And so if China becomes the reserve currency, if people start saying, hey, what's a gallon of oil? What's a barrel of oil? It's in renminbi, not in dollars. Like right now, anywhere you go in the world, you ask a guy how much he's worth. He says, well, I'm worth $1 billion. I'm worth 400 million. I'm worth 10 million. They never tell you I'm worth 50 real or 1.5 million euros or, right? Everyone thinks of the base currency in dollars. That's because we're the reserve currency. That's a huge advantage for the United States of America. And so for us to lose that in a war with China, who's way ahead in this stablecoin, would be a tragedy. And the government now knows that. And so I think you're going to see an acceleration. Bitcoin is kind of a fly in that whole, in that room of negotiation. Because what Bitcoin is telling governments is, dude, you guys are doing such a shitty job with your budget deficits. You are printing money. My mother used to say money doesn't grow on trees. Right now, money's growing on trees. Let's make college free, right? I think they probably should make college free. Let's pay off your student debt. I will pay it off. Let's just keep pumping in more and more money. Let's go to war again. Like the amount of money our government's spending, we don't have that. And so Bitcoin is like a report card on how the government's doing. Bitcoin's going up because people say, shit, there's a chance. It's not the predominant probability, but there's a possibility that is growing that, we shit the bed, that the US yield curve and dollar looks like what happened in Germany at the beginning of the century, or what's happened in Venezuela, and we're like, that could never happen here. And most likely it will never happen here. But man, the chance is higher today than it's ever been in my life.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think it's a 40% chance, but as it goes from a 0% chance to a 5% chance to a 10% chance, people want insurance. And Bitcoin is insurance. And the governments know that.